Oh, the year of 2020. It was, in a single sentence, everything we didn't expect.
As the clock hit midnight on January 1st, 2020, we were celebrating the night away with friends, cheering on to a decade we imagined to be the second round of the Roaring 20s. We returned to our little house in Savannah, a cozy nook sandwiched between an abandoned building and a car auto shop, and buckled down for the fresh start to the new year.
During the first 2 months of the year, our minds were moving on two different parts of the spectrum.
I, for one, was working on a series titled The Quarter-Life Crisis, wondering how I wanted to best live out my life, not knowing if I'll die in a decade or perhaps just a week's time.
And I, on the other hand, was figuring out how to pop the big question. Yes, the will you marry me question, in the midst of juggling schoolwork and interviewing with a corporate company as a backup plan.
Little did we know, the differing thoughts running through our minds at the very beginning of the year would ultimately become an intertwined foundation to all the experiences in our 2020 year.
Alright, so it's February. Claire's artwork is being presented in the annual Fibers Art Show in a week, and I have an engagement ring hidden in the apartment. I ask my ambitious and creative friend Ben for some help. Of course, knowing that the Fibers Open Studio is only a week away, he persuades and eventually pushes me to propose at the event in front of hundreds of people. The week up to the event was one of the longest weeks of my life. But hey, it turned out to be one of the last big gatherings we got to go to, so the timing worked out well.
So fast forward, rings on my finger, wedding plans are blossoming, international travel plans are underway, we're finishing our second to last quarter at SCAD, and boom, the oh-so-lovely pandemic has come to bless our lives with a massive change of plan. So remember when I said I was undergoing a quarter-life crisis and determining what all I wanted to do with my life? Well, funny enough, the only thing I had to experience in my life was traveling all over the world, which just so happens to be the very last thing that could ever happen during a pandemic. Plane tickets to Peru were immediately canceled, and during our 2-week spring break vacation, Chad and I stared at each other, wondering what we'd possibly do with our lives post-graduation.
We knew we wanted to travel, but we also knew we had to stay in the US. On top of that, we didn't have much money, so that brought us to the conclusion of pursuing tiny van life around the United States on a tight budget. We sold 80% of our belongings, and before we knew it, we had a used Ford Transit Connect parked in front of our house.
And after attending our online graduation using the unreliable Wi-Fi from the car auto shop next door, we packed what was left of our belongings and relocated to the mountains of Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we began our biggest collaboration yet, converting our van into a tiny home on wheels.
Between the multiple trips to the home improvement store and the back and forth arguing about how we wanted to execute the build, the 5 weeks we had to convert the van flew by incredibly fast. We underwent rounds of trial and error and a tremendous amount of stress, as we were also trying to plan our COVID-friendly wedding in my parents' backyard. But as all stressful moments do come to an end, I watched Claire walk down the aisle while I stood next to all of our dearest friends and family.
And we got married under sunshine and wildflowers to birds chirping and instruments playing, and all in all, it was truly a beautiful and unforgettable day.
Two days later, we found ourselves spending our first night of many, many nights in our newly built van. And let's just say, van life for us was off to an amazing start.
So, remember when we decided we wanted to travel full-time at the beginning of the year? Well, we also decided to start a YouTube channel as a means to document our travels to share with friends and family. And once we set off on our road trip, we devoted ourselves to posting a new video every 4 days, which was, in no joke, a ton of work. We found ourselves working 24/7, attempting to capture the good and the bad in our everyday travels, and it not only pushed us to work harder than we ever have before, but it pushed us out of our comfort zones, to share our personal lives with a very public audience.
And it also pushed us, redefining what it means to be a team, and what it means to be a married duo that works together side by side, very literally, and create something that's meaningful to the both of us. Trust me, it's not easy at all, and in fact, we got into fights for just about everything. But we discovered, more than ever, that love is indeed patient and kind in the very end. And through it all, we experienced a lot. So 2020, to sum up the whole thing, we launched a YouTube channel, we got engaged, we sold most of our belongings, we graduated college, we built out an entire van, we got married, we began full-time travel on the road, we created so much art, we launched an entire merchandise line, and we visited 20 states. None of it could have been done without the endless support we've received from friends, family, and strangers who've cheered us on through it all.
Thank you all for being a part of our 2020 and for giving us your time and support. We hope 2021 is something like 2020, everything we didn't expect. Because sometimes the unexpected can be the sweetest moments, the best life lessons, or the grandest adventure. As always, thank you so much for watching. We wish you all the very best as we head into the new year, and maybe we'll see a couple of you guys on the road as we head out west. From somewhere in the USA, Chad and Claire.